Thank you all for joining us. WCCO News at 5 starts right now.
Now on WCCO News,
we're under a next weather alert for severe storms. I'll time them out.
Then an alleged car thief in a Hyundai kills an innocent man.
We've got a first-hand account from the troubling scene.
Plus, it's not the big one, but it's still worth $1 million. What we know about an unclaimed winning lotto ticket in Minnesota. And
we've made it to Glenwood, a place known for its rolling hills and fantastic lake views.
And we found a place featuring both of those and more just outside of town.
Meet the local family who turned their dreams of growing grapes and serving wine into a reality.
This is a WCCO and CBS News Minnesota Next Weather Alert.
Thanks for joining us. We need the rain, but we're under a next weather alert for storms that could bring hail, strong winds, even tornadoes. Cities from the southern border to the North Shore are under a slight risk for the next few hours. Meteorologist Lisa Meadows is closely watching all of this for us, and she's in the Next Weather Center and joins us now with the latest. Hi there, Lisa.
Let's get right into where we have those severe thunderstorm warnings that have just popped up in the St. Cloud region. Here it is. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for Benton, Sherburne, and Stearns County. This storm is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour, capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds or $half size hail. There's the timing making its way into St. Cloud here at 5:17. They're doubling up. The National Weather Service has doubled up on severe thunderstorm warning boxes with this, because if you look just off to the west into St. Martin, that is also a severe thunderstorm warned storm. This is just off to the west, basically, of this other severe thunderstorm warning. This storm also looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1 1/4 inch hail. Storm is also moving predominantly from west to east. A couple of other severe thunderstorm warnings that have been in place as we make our way to western Wisconsin. Here, Burnett, Pine, and Washburn counties underneath a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30 p.m. and just to the north also. The main threat with a lot of these storms and the reports that we have been getting have been hail, so that will remain the greatest threat with these storms. You can see them firing up to the west and they are moving to the east, which means the metro region will be seeing these storms push in within the next few hours. Now, the severe threat is greatest for those of you in the pink. This does include the North Metro. Until 10 p.m. severe thunderstorm watch is in place for all these counties because of that threat, which means for the Twin Cities, the Torchlight Parade, it's going to be tough as those storms will be pushing into the area right about that time frame. We anticipate them to move out as we head into tonight, and then we're talking about some heat, so lots of weather to talk about here with the severe threat followed by that heat that'll be coming up next week.
All right, we'll see in a little bit again, Lisa. Thank you. Our forecast is constantly changing, but WCCO is here to help you prepare for what's next. Check in with us on TV and online. Disturbing new details today about the gunman who killed a Fargo police officer and injured 2 others. This is what investigators say they suspect Mohammed Barakat had in his car. It includes 1,800 rounds, multiple guns, and homemade explosives. Police say that Barakat opened fire on officers who were responding to a traffic wreck on Friday. Officer Jake Willeen died. 2 other officers and a bystander were critically injured. Officer Zach Robinson fatally shot Barakat during the attack, and today North Dakota's Attorney General said that Robinson's use of deadly force was necessary and justified. Officer Willeen's funeral will be held this Saturday at Pequot Lakes High School. The 23-year-old grew up in St. Michael and served as a sergeant in the National Guard. People in Minneapolis are sitting in frustration today after police say someone driving a stolen car took another innocent life, then fled the scene. The crash happened in North Minneapolis on Washington and 21st Avenue around 7:30 last night. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield has a first-hand account from the troubling scene.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this. Let's go. You ready?
It's little Bryce's 2nd birthday and his first haircut.
Great job, buddy. You're doing excellent.
Barber J.C. Cargill is savoring today's happy assignment.
We pretty much keep a positive vibe over here.
But yesterday turned out to be really heavy and really sad. This scene played out feet from the shop's front door.
And all of a sudden you just hear it. I don't even think I heard brakes. You know how you hear like the boom? It was just like boom. And that's when I proceeded to come outside. And when I ran outside, I seen the car right here, a drop top.
Minneapolis police say someone driving a stolen Hyundai crashed into the driver of this classic car, then took off.
As soon as everything happened, he got out and ran. By the time I came out, he was already running up the street.
But the most dramatic scene was the victim. JC says he watched as first responders tried CPR, but it was too late.
And once I seen dude on the ground, it was just like, it was just something that I really couldn't explain and stuff. I just knew he was seriously hurt.
Now, from people we've heard from in the area and comments we've seen on social media, people want to know why this keeps happening. Minneapolis police tell us they know it's a bigger picture issue and say they are working to address it. Police say sometimes dozens of cars a day are stolen. And as WCCO has reported, Hyundai and Kias are more easily taken. The hope now is to make sure no more lives are taken.
The stolen car situation, we need to get on that.
In Minneapolis, Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO News.
New this evening, the former officer convicted of killing George Floyd is taking his appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's after the Minnesota Supreme Court denied Derek Chauvin's appeal today. Chauvin claims that he didn't get a fair trial due in part to pretrial publicity. A Minnetonka man is behind bars this evening accused of killing a man who police believe was his father. We're told that police found a 72-year-old man dead at this home on Holiday Road early this morning. It's unclear how he died, but investigators say that he had traumatic injuries. Police arrested a 39-year-old man. Their names have not been released. A young boy is accused of setting a church on fire in Elmdale last night. That's about 100 miles northwest of the Twin Cities. These pictures show the damage at St. Edward's Catholic Church. County Sheriff says that firefighters were able to keep the fire from spreading throughout the church. Investigators say that they believe a 12-year-old boy from nearby Bolus started the fire. And right now we're going to turn to Lisa Meadows, who has the latest on what we're hearing is a tornado.
Yes, we do have a tornado warning we want to make sure you are aware of. Here it is on your radar right now. We do have a tornado warning that is in place. This is for Burnett and Washburn counties until 5:30 p.m. We've had a report of a funnel cloud. So basically a repeat of a funnel cloud. It's a storm that's kind of what they call recycling here. So when we get a trained spotter reporting a funnel cloud, that's why the National Weather Service has implemented this tornado warning. This storm is pushing to the east, and its movement here, I timed out the location and also how long it'll be pushing from west to east here, making its way, for those of you just to the south of Spooner. And again, if you're in Burnett and Washburn County, you're underneath that severe thunderstorm warning. There's the timing for Hertel coming in at 5:18, Plainview School 5:33, Spooner 5:41 due to this tornado warned storm. So make sure you go to your safe place if you are in that area. I'll keep you updated with more of these warnings as they continue to pop up, Amelia.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. Young people are making their voices heard today. Hundreds of students are speaking out against gun violence at the Minnesota State Capitol. WCCO's Barrett Leone shares their message.
Lots of energy here today at the state capitol. From families to students who have been impacted by gun violence, the message here is clear. Protect kids, not guns. That was just one of several chants that this group made as they marched their way from the Radisson Hotel down the street to the state capitol grounds here. Now, it's all a part of National Day of Social Action, and the students you see here are part of Freedom School, a summer program for students in elementary and middle school across the metro. More than 1,600 Freedom Scholars took part in the march and rally, many of them holding handmade signs and chanting things like "Kids aren't bulletproof." Once on the Capitol grounds, the group heard from students and families both impacted by gun violence.
We don't want this to continue to happen to any more kids in our community. It's important for us to get out and be a voice and educate communities around gun violence.
Through loss, you can still love. And that's what we want to continue to do, to represent the love that we have for our children and the love that we have for other people's children.
They're learning how to take action and make sure that their voices are heard.
Once the rally wrapped up, students here will be able to enjoy carnival at the Capitol grounds. We've got bouncy houses and other fun activities here. Tomorrow, Freedom Scholars will head to the Science Museum for Youth Science Day. Reporting in St. Paul, Barrett Leone, WCCO News.
WCCO is going back to the lake, and this week we're about 2 hours northwest on I-94 in the gorgeous city of Glenwood. That is where we find Frank, Chris, and Shayla. Hello there. Nice to see the sun shining.
Yeah, finally we had a little storm. Chris will talk about that in a second. But welcome to Glenwood. We're on one of the beautiful public beaches of Lake Minnewaska, the 25th largest lake in the state of Minnesota. If you were to go a few miles that way across the lake, you'd run into the town of Starbuck. And I think fair to say we came over the hill and saw this beautiful lake, and it was awe-inspiring. It's just a beautiful setting.
Yeah,
Simply gorgeous.
that's the best way to describe it. We hit the road, shot up 94, took what I call the Clearwater exit to get our snack on and our beverages. And yeah, we had a thunderstorm. In fact, the severe cell passed just to the south of Lake Minnewaska here. And this is a little glimpse of your future, folks in the Twin Cities and farther east in Wisconsin. It's going to get better. Good.
Absolutely. And just the experience with you guys, we have had some incredible stops in our short time here already. We stopped at the bait shop. We've had a chance to experience some of the incredible people that call Glenwood home.
And there's more to come.
And there's more to come, of course, but we want to talk about some of the fun facts to know about this area. We know Glenwood is the county seat of Pope County. That means that Pope County Courthouse is here in downtown Glenwood. Right now, the population sits at around 2,600 people. But like many lake towns, this city swells in the summer to almost double that. Tourists flock to town to hit Lake Minnewaska and take in the breathtaking views of the rolling hills. It's about a 2-hour drive northwest from the Twin Cities. It's right up I-94. It's not a long drive to get here, but when you get here, it's just an incredible place to be.
Yeah, and it's it's west central Minnesota. It's not like that up north experience, so I'm not sure what people's expectations are, but mine were blown away when we came up here. A vibrant town, cool beaches, beautiful lake.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming up, something really cool. We met an interesting couple raising 3 kids and raising grapes. They have a gorgeous vineyard. Not only do they have a good product, but they also have some fantastic views, and we're going to show you that. Cue the kids running happily down the beach. Finally, glad the storm is gone, Chris.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to hearing it. We're just happy that you made it and you didn't run out of gas. So thank you. We'll see you in a little bit. Still ahead, we continue our next weather alert coverage. Storms are starting to pop in parts of the state. Chris is back to show us where and when. And looking for temporary work, the state fair is hiring for hundreds of jobs. We'll have the details on next week's job fair just ahead.
Summer in Minnesota is amazing,
and we need to enjoy it while we can.
Be prepared to get out there
with WCCO's Next Weather.
Frank, Chris, and Shayla head out to Glenwood, going to the lake, only on WCCO. WCCO's Going to the Lake is sponsored by Home Furniture.
Welcome back. Going to the Lakes is back. And I'll tell you what, if you've spent any time in this Glenwood area, you know there are rolling hills and, of course, this gorgeous Lake Minnewaska right here.
And we know that the landscape is the inspiration behind the name of a fairly new vineyard in Glenwood.
Yeah, it's called Rolling Hills Vineyard, and it's a beautiful place. The wine is what they use to get you in the door, but the views will make you stick around and come back for more.
When we decided to get married, I wanted to move back to Glenwood and be a farmer. And that's always been a goal of mine.
Home. That's what Rolling Forks Vineyard is for Joe and Melanie Seelar.
But we kind of want to do something different, so we found the property here to grow the grapes on.
We broke ground on this in 2019, in June of 19, and by March, COVID happened, and we were so far into building we couldn't shift and do something else. And so we just had to really get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out how we're going to make this work.
Now, 4 years and a global pandemic later, business is booming.
We grow 9 varietals. The more known varietals are Marquette, La Crescent, Frontenac Gris, and Frontenac Blanc.
And so are the grapes, despite this summer's drought.
This area is tremendous for growing grapes. The best thing for them is sunlight, 75 to 85 degrees, low humidity, and a little bit of water. We're moving along pretty good this year, so we're going to have a normal crop with probably a little bit earlier ripening.
What's really special about our winery specifically is we grow 95% of all of the fruit that goes into our bottles.
It's a labor of love for the Sealars, who work hard to find that balance between home life and work life, with 3 boys ages 6, 9, and 11 that keep them on their toes.
We've really tried pretty hard to keep a standard schedule so we can be at home at night with our boys. It doesn't happen all the time, but we've been really fortunate to have that great staff so we can go to their baseball games and still take a vacation as a family and do those things together as well.
It's my wife, me, Darian, Dean, Jolie. We have our core 5, and we can adapt.
A family ready to greet your family with a flight of wine and a bite to eat on the patio, or an award-winning bottle in the tasting room.
Our Marquette and our La Crescent won double golds at the San Francisco Chronicle. Joe was making wine when I met him in his basement, and so there was always an interest in that, and so I think it's been really, really great to see how that's progressed from 5-gallon carboys in his basement to what we have upstairs here at the winery.
There's nothing better than coming out at 5:30, 6 in the morning, watching the sunrise.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Big thanks to the Sealar, very, very kind family to let us into Rolling Forks Vineyard, not Rolling Hills Vineyard, Rolling Forks. And their product is available at more than 120 liquor stores across the great state of Minnesota.
And speaking of rolling, we had thunderstorms rolling through this area. We did issue a next weather alert last night because we knew these thunderstorms were going to fire up. So far, they've been playing out as expected, kind of firing in a disjointed line and pushing to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Interesting to watch here. We were seeking cover because of the thunderstorm that rolled just south of us here in Glenwood, and the good citizens of Glenwood were seeking shelter as well. That's what it's all about, being safe, and now, of course, the sun is shining. Let's take a look at those maps. You'll see what's going on out here. The pink shaded counties, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. The gold boxes, that's active severe thunderstorm warnings. Just like what passed through here, the main ingredients are hail and some very squirrely winds. We also have that Doppler indicated tornado warning in western Wisconsin. A funnel cloud was spotted just west of Spooner. That line is moving to the east about 35 miles per hour. Let's zoom in a little bit and give you an example of what was going on here in Glenwood. You see the town of Glenwood. We're on that beautiful lake just south of the name. The storms are now well east of us, heading through Paynesville on Lake Coronis and continuing toward the east at a pretty rapid clip. But that cell pushed right through here. We could see it passing on the south shore of Lake Minnewaska. Pretty interesting to watch on Doppler radar as well as in person. We'll zoom it back out to show you the line of storms, and once it passes, it's beautiful. We've got the sun shining. It's a much nicer situation. Here's the frontal boundary that's triggering this. We knew the heat and humidity would build out ahead of the cold front, and that would be the lifting mechanism. And so far, like I said, it's playing out exactly like we thought it would. Look at the heat out ahead of it. In the Twin Cities, 89 degrees right now. Yes, you can feel the humidity in the air as well. That's going to change. Once that front passes, which will be later on tonight, the dew point is going to drop. Tomorrow is going to be very comfortable. Tonight will be a little excitable still, especially from areas in eastern Minnesota and pushing into western Wisconsin. You see the slight risk of severe weather that will hold for the next few hours. Tornado risk is small, but there, and again, that funnel cloud sighting near Spooner is a good reason for that. The wind damage, not great. It's the hail that we're most concerned with. The stuff that rolled through here was about pea size, which is the most common hail size out there for the record. All right, watch future radar. The storms will be moving from west to east, and it's a very tight window. By about 8, 9 o'clock, it's clearing out into western Wisconsin and beyond, and then beautiful weather is moving in behind it. So for the Torchlight Parade tonight, we'll still hold on for a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. It will still be warm. How about tomorrow? Not humid. Highs below average again with a pretty good breeze coming from the northwest. And looking ahead, enjoy the comfortable weather, guys, because we get to the weekend and it's going to be a very typical summer vibe with temperatures climbing back above average. We get to next week and we get back to those old habits we developed in June where we had 9 of our 14 days with 90 degrees or warmer. We're heading back to the 90s. It's going to get more humid as next week builds as well.
And we have good weather for this trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And we know if folks are trying to get out and they want to enjoy those patios or even go to the Rolling Forks Vineyards, they've got some pretty cool things to check out. They've got those wine slushies there if you want to try that. They've got the local beers, the flavored hard seltzers, and of course the water and soda and the sandwiches and all the kind of cool stuff that folks like to enjoy.
Chris doesn't care about water.
Chris
It's all
doesn't
about
care
the
water.
winecicles, especially when there's severe storms around.
Of course, severe storms and winecicles. That's all
what he
you
loves.
need.
Amelia, how fantastic are the views from that vineyard? Weren't they
It's
spectacular?
beautiful. Yeah, it looks like a great place. And from what Shayla says, it's like you can bring your family too, right? It sounds like.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Plenty of family fun things to do. We're going to show you some of those coming up through the course of tonight and then tomorrow as well.
All right. Thank you. Well, it is not quite $1 billion, but time is running out for a Minnesota Lotto winner to claim $1 million ticket. Find out where it was sold. And would you like to work at the State Fair? It's hiring where you can apply and the jobs they're looking to fill up.
Tomorrow mid-morning, we are trying out the new fair food featuring lutefisk.
Ooh, you think you can handle it? We'll have to see. All coming up tomorrow at 9.
Keep streaming your trusted WCCO team on CBS News Minnesota. Big stories, breaking news, and weather live in real time on the CBS News app and on Pluto TV.
Not alone.
Someone in America could become a billionaire tonight. There is still time to get your Powerball tickets for tonight's drawing. It is worth $1 billion. The cash payout for a winning ticket would be nearly $517 million before taxes. Someone in Minnesota could lose out on $1 million. A Mega Millions ticket worth $1 million has gone unclaimed for months. The lottery says it was sold last July at the Casey's that's on University Avenue in Fridley, and the winner has until July 29th to claim the prize. That is next Saturday, so get over there. The Minnesota State Fair is just a month away, but first it needs to fill hundreds of jobs, and you can apply for one at a job fair next Wednesday. It's from 4 until 7 in the North End Event Center on the fairgrounds, and positions include ticket sellers, parking, custodians, and much more. You do need to be 16 or older. Job seekers are encouraged to register online before showing up, but it's not required. Well, Spam is adding a new flavor to its profile that is sweet and savory, and we will show you it next.
Everybody's
Plus.
Folks at Hormel are giving Spam a new sweet and savory twist. The company is rolling out maple-flavored Spam. Hormel says it's a mouth-watering addition to breakfast menus, outdoor barbecues, and one-of-a-kind desserts. It is rolling out at grocery stores nationwide or at some retailers online. So there you go.
All right, let's get to that tornado
Yes,
warning.
definitely.
I have an update for you. Let's take a look at the map here. Here's where we have the tornado warning in place for Burnett and Washburn County till 5:30 p.m. Barron and Polk County. The storm is moving to the southeast at 40 miles per hour. We have a funnel cloud that's been reported by a spotter. We also have golf ball size hail associated with this storm. More severe thunderstorm warnings in place just further off to the west, so stick with us. We'll keep you up to date on these severe storms this evening.